Hey, welcome to Worship Tutorials Live.
Wait, like on the internet?
We're on the internet. We're on the internet, Mom.
On the YouTubes?
On the YouTubes. Welcome to Worship Tutorials Live.
I told everybody on Facebook.
Episode 2, technically. Hanging out today with Bradford Mitchell.
And I'm hanging out with Brian Wall.
Here we are. Today we're going to talk about our most influential worship albums, and maybe just music in general.
Well, it's all encompassing.
But, you know, we're going to talk about the albums that got us into worship. I'm going to talk about the albums that really, you could say, changed my life and turned me on to worship music. Bradford's going to do the same. Mm-hmm. And we may talk about music otherwise, which to me would entail U2.
That would, U2?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
So, here's what we want you to do. If you're watching us, I'm going to pull up the chat here so we can monitor you. So we can see who's with us. Pao Zhong, I probably just totally butchered that name. Says it's Sonic Flood. Remember Sonic Flood back in the day?
I remember Sonic Flood.
Let us know.
Confuse them with Delirious.
Let us know who you are, where you're from, and what your most influential worship song or album in your life was. And if we have issues with audio or video, please let us know. All right, hey Jonathan, how you doing? He wants to know tips on writing lead parts. Make them melodic and memorable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Hey Brian, hey Dennis, Danny. Hello from Vancouver.
Israel.
Hey Israel. God bless you too, brother. David, I'm glad to see you live. David said he's glad to see us live. We're happy to see you.
No, he said he's glad to see us live.
I think live.
I'm glad you're alive too, man. So glad.
Oh, Brian from Las Vegas. Jonathan from Rochester. Worthy of your name, passion. Very cool. Rick Van Renswoud. This is fun. Such an international audience that I don't know how to pronounce people's names. He probably lives in like Wisconsin or something. You never know. All right. So here it is. Let's talk about our most influential worship album, Bradford.
Yes.
What was the first album you heard that turned you on to worship music? We may play songs from our most influential albums too, if we can remember them.
Well, I remember I grew up in the Episcopal Church.
Okay.
So it was like massive pipe organ. That's like what
we had a pipe organ in my church.
Massive, like, and
awesome.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I always thought it was super cool. Like at the end, I never understood what it meant. Now I do, but like pulling out all the stops, like they just.
That's an organ thing.
That's a phrase.
Pull out all the stops is an organ thing.
But like the last verse of a song would be massive and huge, and I was like, "This is incredible!" Like, Christ the Lord is, and the organist would be like playing the melody at the same time as the chords, and I never realized how awesome that was. But there was a time where I remember distinctly being told by my father that he would not like me to listen to certain.
Really?
Albums because they had suggestive, inappropriate themes.
Lyrically.
Lyrically.
Not based on, like, don't listen to this because it has drums. That's,
no.
Those are the devil's skins.
No.
Okay.
So, like, no, like, I really wanted to get, and this is, like, before the internet was, like, really a thing. And so my dad I'd buy a CD and my dad would be like, sorry, you can't listen to it. I was like, what? So I remember getting, like, my first Christian album was a Wow 99, and my dad didn't take it away from me, and I was like,
Wow,
there's
99.
something to this.
What was on that? Do you remember?
I remember there was a Third Day song, 40 Days I think was on that. Newsboys Into Jesus was onto that.
Newsboys?
That song is, I'm not sorry, Newsboys, DC Talk. I associated Michael Tate with.
That's understandable.
The VeggieTales song Cheeseburger, the Cheeseburger song was on there.
Yeah.
That was awesome. There was like an Avalon song.
Sweet.
And there's like an older Stephen Chris Chapman song and a Rebecca St. James. Like there's a lot of stuff that like the W's, like a Christian ska band.
I remember the
are the devil and
my
the devil
first
is
roommate
bad.
in college, when I was a freshman in college, was 1998. Ska was a thing.
Yeah.
Then, and my freshman roommate Josh Lady. Josh, if you see this, hello, I miss you. They're all hanging out in Texas this summer, and I'm not going to be going because I'm going to be in Paris.
Sucks to be
yeah, but Josh was way into ska, so
yeah,
and I was not.
Well, I didn't mind it some. It wasn't the same, but either way, that album, like, I was like, man, there's albums that talk about this God that I and I believe in, and I didn't really understand all that. The Episcopal Church this is not a blanket statement, but all the Episcopal churches I grew up with did not preach the gospel. Like, it's very similar to Catholicism in some regards in ways of theology and the way practices and the way they do things and all that. But they didn't preach the gospel. So I didn't understand why I was going to church on Sundays. You know, I didn't see this excitement behind it. But
let's make it clear, that was just your experience.
That was just my experience. Yeah, just every single one I went to.
Not a blanket statement on the Episcopal.
Exactly. Church. Yeah, but it's just, those are just like what I grew up going to. So when I realized there was music about this, I wanted to know more about it, and I was very intrigued by it. So I remember one of my first Christian albums, more specifically, was DC Talk.
Jesus
Supernatural.
Supernatural.
Supernatural is one of my first ones.
Okay.
So that
DC
is like
Talk,
one of my favorite Christian albums. And it was the first one I started listening to.
Yeah.
And then I guess the most influential and the first worship album that you and I agreed on earlier was Chris Tomlin's Arriving.
That was a big album.
That was one of the first ones for me.
How Great Is Our God is on there.
Your Grace Is Enough.
Yeah. Which is a Matt Maher song.
Matt Maher. Yeah.
About that.
Yep.
Okay.
So that was probably the first worship album I was like, this meant something different to me than normal. So
cool.
Yeah.
Hey, we see you guys in the comments saying where you're from all over the place. Jesus Freak was Daniel Hopper's favorite. Jesus Freak was a killer album. I bought that on cassette tape.
I went back and listened to it. I went back and listened to it.
Because that came out like when I was in high school or something like that.
Yeah.
But I loved it. And we see where you're from. Let's get some conversation going. Let us keep knowing your most influential albums. And if you're not watching this live, you're not seeing all this live chat, so you missed out. You have to catch us live next time. But still,
every Friday at 4 o'clock. Eastern time.
But still, in the comments, let us know who you are, where you're from, what's your favorite most influential worship album. Mine. So the first album I remember, the first Christian album I remember buying was what's that? Steve Van Dopp. You and I are gonna agree on this because actually this is not where I was going. He said Delirious Cutting Edge. And I actually have that on LP around here somewhere. It's over there.
I saw a stack of some albums.
So, Delirious Cutting Edge was hugely influential for me. But the first one I got was Petra, This Means War.
This means war.
Yes. And the battle's still raging. Yeah. The vocalist guy, his name was John Schlitt. Which is kind of an unfortunate last name.
Yeah.
You can make it sound like things you don't want it to sound like.
Yep.
But dude, that guy, he had the 80s rock vocals, man, he could kill it. So This Means War, I listened to it and I remember I bought that on cassette tape when I was in junior high. So this would have been in the late 80s, late 80s, early 90s when I was in junior high. And I remember my grandparents
being appalled.
Yes. So I remember I had it blasting in the car with my grandparents in the car, and I remember them not appreciating it at all.
Sure, I could see that.
And then I from that point I purchased a Walkman. I bought a Walkman that played cassette tape, and proceeded to wear that out. And then I got On Fire. Remember that one? Fired Up. Fired Up.
By Petra?
Dude, yeah, I was totally into Petra.
No.
But after I was also into Bon Jovi and Scorpions and
so it makes sense.
And dude, Def Leppard, one of my all-time favorites, Def Leppard. Okay, we're moving past that. I am a Christian, I promise.
It's really a Christian.
Yeah, you can. So, but the first then I discovered Jars of Clay and Caedmon's Call. Yes. Those two albums, Jars of Clay, the original Jars of Clay album. I just saw someone say, greetings from Paris. Thierry Marson. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm going to be in Paris. My wife does research at the University of North Carolina.
She's a pretty big deal.
She does HIV research at the University of North Carolina, and she speaks a lot because of her research. She travels a lot. And so she's actually going back to France. She was there a few months ago. Mm-hmm. She's going back to Paris to give a talk on her research, and I'm going to tag along with her. It's going to be awesome. So if you're in Paris, let me know where I should go, what I should do. I've been there once before, but anyway. So Jars of Clay, the original Jars of Clay album, the acoustic thing.
Is that with Worlds Apart on it?
Yeah.
That was a good song.
Flood, Love Song for a Savior, which I can't believe Christian Mingle has By the way, you guys want to know something that'll blow your mind? We're going way off script here.
We don't have a script.
Do you know who owns Christian Mingle?
Jars of Clay guy?
No.
Oh, that'd be funny.
The Mormon Church owns ChristianMingle.com.
Weren't you a Mormon?
Huh?
Weren't you a Mormon?
Was I
Mennonite?
Mennonite.
Mennonite.
Mormon's
Sorry.
way different.
I know. But
I grew up in the Mennonite Brethren Church. Come on, Bradford. The Mormon Church owns ChristianMingle.com. At least that's what I've been told. If you know different, let me know. That would be a horrible thing to say if it weren't true. But I'm fairly certain that it's true. Okay, anyway. So, Jars of Clay and then the Caedmon's Call album. What was it called? And it's just self-titled, Caedmon's Call. Both of them self-titled. Caedmon's Call album was kind of brown.
Yeah. I remember more
It
by
had
songs,
like
but I don't remember that.
you know, this...
What song is that?
That's the first song on the Caedmon's Call album. I just remember when I was first learning how to play guitar, I figured that out. It blew my mind. Looking back at the road so far.
I remember that, but I don't.
Journey left. Looking back at the road so far. The journey's left its share of scars. Mostly from leaving the narrow and straight. Can't believe I remember this. Looking back, it is clear to me that man is more than the sum of his deeds. And how I made good of this mess I've made is a profound mystery. Looking back, you know you had to bring me all that I was, all that I was so afraid of, question the sky. Lead of love. Now I see why. Looking back, you know you had to bring me through. Something like that. It's the lead of love. Okay, so moving on. It was Caedmon's Call.
I remember that song.
Dude, lead up that song. I
so good.
loved it. And so Caedmon's Call, Jars of Clay. Those songs, man, those albums. So I grew up working on the farm in northwest Oklahoma, and I drove tractor. I drove tractor and plow the fields and that kind of thing. It's what you do. We grew wheat in Oklahoma. And so I would be driving in circles at about 4 miles an hour for 10 hours a day. And I had my Discman by that time. I had those two on CD, and I straight wore them out. Man.
And then when you would do you start skipping on you or something because of the engine of the tractor.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's true. Another album, I had a Chicago Greatest Hits CD back then, and I straight wore that one out too.
Chicago, man.
Gosh, Peter Cetera.
Chicago.
Take it home. It's awesome. So after that, the worship albums I got into was David Crowder, Illuminate.
That was definitely one for me too.
Because I lived in Oklahoma City at the time, and I went to Life Church in Oklahoma City, the original Life Church campus with Craig Rochelle, and we did a song from the Illuminate album, Revolutionary Love. Do you remember that one?
Yo, revolution. Yeah.
Revolutionary. So we did that song, and it really got me into that album. And then, of course, the Chris Tomlin Arriving album was awesome. I loved it. Okay, so I see a lot of people are talking about how Hillsong. Lots of Hillsong.
We haven't gotten there yet. Not because we just haven't gotten.
Nasser says you are really famous in Germany. Good luck from Berlin.
You didn't have to read that one, Brian. Brian just likes to know.
I just laugh. It just makes me. Thank you. What was funny is I was at a conference this week, just the other day, and I was there hanging out with Integrity Music, and
we need a horn like the guys from
that pedal show.
Integrity Music.
Anytime there's a name drop. And so the guy from Integrity Music was introducing me to some of their artists. And he goes, This is Brian. He runs this channel called Worship Tutorials. They do teaching. He's kind of famous on the internet, and it was obvious the guy that he was introducing me to had no idea who I was. And so I looked at the guy. His name is Wisdom. I looked at Wisdom, and I said, I'm not famous if nobody knows who I am, Wisdom. So, anyway. So, a lot of them are from a lot of David Crowder stuff. Yeah. 1,000 times I failed. You want to get into Hillsong? Because Hillsong is for Bradford and I has been hugely influential for both of us.
Well, I remember, so I went to a private Christian school and we had chapel on Thursdays and we had worship each time. And so my freshman year, I had just started playing guitar like barely a year before.
Yeah.
I wasn't very good, and I wanted to play, and they gave me a shot. Now I look back, I'm like, man, that was kind of patronizing. They turned me down, like whatever, it's fine. I practiced my songs. I knew I was like stoked to do. I remember doing Above All. I remember doing
Above All, like
you took the fall and thought of me.
I don't know who wrote that, but I know Michael W. Smith.
Was it Michael W. Smith or was it Hillsong? Somebody here.
No, Michael W. Smith did it. If you know who wrote Above All,
we could look, but we're gonna keep going.
Power,
yeah, I remember playing that song. Sophomore year, I got a chance to lead while the juniors, the seniors were gone on their senior trip, and they needed something, so I got to do that, and I was like, this is awesome. So junior year, I applied, and I got to be the worship prefect, which meant I was in charge of worship with a few other people.
Fancy.
So I'd never led worship before. I just knew I wanted to do it, and I was like, well, this can't be too hard, right? Just the band gets together, plays songs, and we just do it well.
Yeah.
Right? That's got to be it.
Right.
I'm still learning what it means to be a worship leader, and I've been doing it since then.
Yep.
This is like 2005.
They say Paul Baloche wrote Above All.
Did he really? That makes sense.
I'm not surprised, dude. Paul Baloche is
sense.
awesome.
Yeah.
He is. I really like that guy. Anyway.
Yeah. Well,
he's a great songwriter.
My junior year, the other guys who were on, it was me and another junior and two seniors, and the seniors handed me this CD. They're like, "We're doing all these songs, and you're gonna like it." I was like, "Wow, okay." I was like, "What if I got songs I want to do? Like, it doesn't matter. We're gonna do these songs. We're gonna do them." I'm like,
"Yeah." All
right. And in my mind, I'm like, "Well, they're the seniors. I got to do what they say." It was Hillsong's "Look to You." First song on the album. Oh wait, I'm
Salvation
pushing
is
it.
Key in D.
I'm supposed to be in B, but we're down to.
Got above all my hopes and fears. I don't care what the world throws at me now. It's gonna be alright. Hear the sound of the generation. I got it now. Making loud our freedom song. All in all, that the world would know your name. It's gonna be alright, 'cause I know my God saved the day, and I know His word never fails, and I know my God made a way for me. Oh. Alright, so we're both tuned down a half step, by the way. So somebody said
we were doing a cover of
Jamie
Blowfish.
says they're in B flat. Technically, yes, that's correct. We were playing an open B, but our guitars are tuned down a half step. Either you have a really good ear. Yeah, it is easier to capo 4, but I just didn't have my capo.
We're doing this on the fly.
So I'm just playing. Acoustic guitars are just meant to tune down. Yeah, so Bradford and I just finished up doing a Hootie and the Blowfish cover. She sits alone by a lamppost, trying to find the thought that escaped her mind. She said, "Dad's the one I love most. Stipes not far behind." Jamie says obviously not a worship song.
No.
It's a love song. It's about love lost. And probably habits that you shouldn't form. Like having too much to drink. Not good. Alright. So let's talk Hillsong albums that pulled us in, and then we'll play something. And this is an experiment. Bradford's plugged into the Agape back here, if you can see it. And you can't because my guitar.
There it goes.
That. So we've had to turn it down really low, so it's not. You're not.
I can't get the tone.
You're not going to hear this thing like it sounds, but we have a room mic up here, so we're just capturing what we capture. So if it sounds good, let us know. If it doesn't, let us know. We'll fix it in the long run. All right. Juan Lopez says Reuben Morgan is a great writer, and I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I tend to like anything Reuben Morgan. So Hillsong comes along. I remember when I very first heard Hillsong. I forget where I was, but somebody, I think I was back still at Life Church. Somebody had said, and I just attended Life Church. I wasn't involved there much at all. Somebody goes, "You got to hear this," and they named it Joel Houston. It was one of his songs. I can't remember what. I remember I heard it first, and I was like, "This isn't that good. Like this guy isn't that good."
Was it? Was it?
I don't remember why I thought that.
Was it Salvation Is Here?
No, it wasn't. It was something else. But I have since changed my tune because I love Hillsong. I love Joel Houston. Like he as a creative guy, he's awesome.
Yeah, the Hillsong movie. If you haven't seen it,
it's really good.
I'll admit, I thought it was kind of weird that a church had a movie about themselves. But I found out first off that that they were approached and said Warner Brothers, I guess, like, we want to do a movie with you guys.
Because
and then
it's a huge deal.
First off, and then second off, like it's just a stinking awesome movie. Like they're just talking about their process, and honestly, it doesn't even feel like that's what it is. They're just talking about like what God calls them to do and how they do it, and it's incredible. Like it was so good. What's funny is the whole movie, if you haven't seen it, the whole movie kind of starts out with them doing a live concert, and Joel has yet to finish the lyrics to a song. And I don't remember.
They're gonna go out and sing it.
And they're gonna go out and sing it that night. So like in a few hours, they're gonna go sing it. Did we know what song it was before? I remember only knowing what song it was when Jad started singing.
It was because it hadn't been released.
No, it was Empires. It had been out. But I mean, like in the middle, in the beginning of the movie, did we hear it? Know what it was yet?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't remember now. Either way, it's not till like the end of the movie. It's like this ongoing story. They keep checking back in as they go away and do interviews and stuff. But it turns out it's Empires. And so Joel wrote the lyrics for it and didn't finish it till like right before Jad walked on stage to sing it. It was hilarious and awesome and kind of like, man, I write songs, period. Here he is writing them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's impressive, his creative process, but it's good. So the first Hillsong album that I really got into was I looked it up, now I can't remember. It's the blue one that has all the people's faces on it. It's a United album.
We just looked it up and I remember what it is. All of the above.
All of the above. All of the above was like the first Hillsong album that I got into.
See,
Hosanna was on it.
Right, sorry.
Lead Me to the Cross maybe was on it.
Yes.
A lot of Brooke Fraser. Back then it was Brooke Fraser.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. And then I really got into Mighty to Save. The Mighty to Save album.
Yeah.
Was big. What about you?
For me, that was when like I was saying, the guys just showed me the CD. Like,
that's right.
These songs.
Look to you.
So look to you. So I pulled it up on Spotify, not because we're gonna play it, just because I was gonna talk about.
We can play something.
Salvation Is Here.
Yeah.
The first time I kicked that in, I remember.
You're like, what?
I was able to drive, and I had my dad's car, which ended up becoming mine, but it had a nicer sound system than my mom's. And I remember driving it, and I put it in, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And Salvation Is Here, the way the drums and the band kicked in. And like, I didn't know what it was at the time, but I was stoked to hear, like, I was like, this music gets me excited about Jesus, this music.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what worship was or what it was supposed to be. But that's the thing, like, music about Jesus, not because you need I'll listen to a piano version, an organ version of a song and still get excited about Jesus. But that was the first in my life that I realized that these songs were supposed to be more than just methods. Like, it wasn't just supposed to be just singing because you sing. I couldn't tell you why we sang in church growing up.
Because it was in the order of service.
Yeah, that's what you did. And you always sang, and sometimes you didn't sing certain hymns during certain times of the year or whatever. I'm like,
yeah. I know. See, I grew up in a Mennonite Brethren church, and we did hymns all the time with an organ.
I love hymns.
And I really liked it. And I identified with it a lot, and I still enjoy singing hymns. It takes me back, which is an interesting thing about church and the songs that you do. For a lot of people, it triggers memories and emotions. Mm-hmm. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, because some people have bad experiences with church, and so that emotion might not be what you want to trigger. But a lot of times, hymns will trigger good emotions that makes them think of family, growing up, that kind of thing. So people identify with hymns a lot. So I think it's important to do them, even in a very modern, contemporary type of a setting. But anyway, let's play something, Bradford. What do you want to play? It can be anything. Oh, you know what? We were going to talk about, like, the first of the more modern worship albums from Hillsong that I got into. Well, Bradford and I both agree on this one. Glorious Ruins, man. That album is so good.
So good.
You want to play Glorious Ruins?
Oh, how are we going to do that? I'd need a...
You need a capo?
Maybe.
Here.
Just in case.
Worship tutorials today brought to you by...
Our good friends
the good friends at G7th Capos.
You guys want to hear a funny story?
No. Let's just play.
Okay.
How does Glorious Ruins start? It's an F, right? Gotta be one of my favorite Hillsong songs. The mountains fall, and the tempest roars. You are with me. When creation falls, still my soul will soar on your mercy. And I'll walk with my head lifted high, my spirit revive your story. I'll look to the cross, my failure is lost in the light of your glorious grace. Let the ruins come alive. Rising up from the ashes, God, forever you reign. My soul will find rest in the shadow of your wings. I will love you forever, and forever I'll sing. We're technically in E. We're playing in F, but a half step down.
Yeah, we're
when
half
the
step down.
What's the next?
The world caves in.
When the world caves in,
still my hope.
Still my hope will cling to your arms. When my courage ends, let my heart find strength in your presence. And I'll walk through the fire. My head lifted high, my spirit reviving your story. I'll look to the cross as my failure is lost in the light of your glorious grace. Let the ruins come to life in the beauty of your name, rising up from the ashes. God, forever you reign. My soul will find rest in the shadow of your wings. I will love you forever, and forever I'll sing. Oh. So one thing we like to do when we do this song at our church is we put the bridge from the song Anchor in it, which is awesome. Your name is higher. It goes like this. rising up from the ashes. God, forever you reign. My soul will find refuge, the shadow of your wings. Rising up from, what's the word? Ever I'll sing. We had some gear questions. So we can field some questions at this time. We had some questions about your setup. So Bradford is playing into the Agape, which is back here. Bradford has a Kemper. Where is that thing? It's over there.
Let me grab it.
Yeah, sure.
Bradford.
Bradford.
So, is that inappropriate to leave the camera?
Yeah, you can leave the camera because I'll be right here. I'll hang out with you guys.
Okay, bye.
So Bradford plays through a Kemper modeling. What do they call it? Profiling
Profiling
amplifier.
amp.
So the Kemper, I can attest, as well as Bradford, is awesome.
It's my friend.
It is a wonderful piece of gear.
It is a wonderful piece of kit, as I say, across the pond.
Piece of kit. Yeah. Well, we're from America, so we can say gear.
History began on July 4th, 1776. It's a Ron Swanson quote.
Yeah. So
We were watching some of that earlier.
So yeah. Okay. Anyway. Bradford plays the Kemper, and he runs his pedal board into it. So a lot of times people have questions about like a modeling amp like the Kemper, profiling amp technically. Can you run pedals into it? Absolutely you can. And he does.
Or you can
use the pedals, you can use the pedal effects that are in it as well.
I love it.
I play through Helix Live. You can also it's okay. Everyone knows what a Helix
I think
like.
your channel has enough Helix content.
Yeah, it's got a lot of Helix content. Here's the thing, though. I use all the stuff. I don't use anything outside of the Helix. It's a one-stop shop for me. But Bradford has played around with running his massive pedal board. Are you gonna show the good people the pedal board? Because
I might as well.
It's huge.
It's not. It's no bigger than your laptop.
It's bigger than the laptop.
Not much.
So Bradford runs this into his Kemper. He's actually run that into the Helix before, not just using an amp model. You're going to have to hold it up in front of you.
Well, my guitar thing is in the way. There we go.
This is live video. You get what you get.
Get what you get. Here you go.
All right, so this is Bradford's pedal chain. Let's walk through. Where does the signal come in?
The signal comes in here, actually, with my new disaster area DPC5.
Let's not go through all that. That will take an hour to explain.
MIDI looping switching.
Does everything run in and out of this thing then?
Yes.
Okay.
So
what is
my guitar
what is
into
the
here.
signal flow though after this?
Right. So everything I have an awkward number of pedals right now because I have 6 pedals, so I could put I have 5 loops in here, and my compressor typically stays on all the time anyways. But if I'm gonna overdrive something heavy, sometimes you want that off. You don't want a lot of compression.
Yeah.
So I left it on. So the Cali, and then it goes into this, which this is only 2 jacks, so I have to decide which one I want. So we'll see. Let's make it in.
But this is next.
This is next.
And that is a Proto Pearl.
Proto Pearl.
By this one's mine, Dan Burgess. Shout out to Dan Burgess.
Nice piece of.
If you're watching, Dan, we like your pieces of kit.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Yeah. I have an open loop. That's loop 1, 2.
I wouldn't worry about this thing.
And right. 3 is open.
This is Bradford's brain of his board.
Yes,
basically.
I love it. This is awesome. I just got it recently too. It's in black rainbow sparkle. It's beautiful. And then I have this chorus, which honestly, as great as it is, I don't know. Then go to tremolo. This gravitas. I love it. I have a nice little ramp up.
Bradford employs very tasteful use of tremolo.
It's my favorite.
It's kind of like your thing.
Everybody needs a thing.
Like you don't hear tremolo much in
except
worship
when
music.
I'm playing.
But Bradford and I just recorded a cover of Let Her Cry, which will be on my personal channel and probably Bradford's too. And we used a lot of tremolo, and it was very nice.
Cherry.
Okay. It was cherry.
Cherry.
Okay.
And then I go out to the volume, and then I have timeline, and then big sky.
So you're in your volume after your drive.
Right, because
in the middle, basically.
My reason is because if you run it before the drive, then it's doing the same thing as your volume and guitar, and so I want to be able to. That's not bad. I've done that before because you can kind of control the gain, but I want to control volume. When I do swells, I don't want my volume to be hitting any effects except the delay and verb after. So I want trem already there. I don't want it to be, my signal to be hitting the trem after. So I put volume after all of that.
Cool. And then you hit all the wet stuff.
Yeah,
these two.
Delay and then verb and then out. The delay and the verb are actually controlled by this. So what's cool about this is all these pedals are connected here, and then I have MIDI here. And so I can hit, see where are we at? I'm on foot controller right now. There we go, on preset. So I have this set up, so this is my first preset. So when I hit this, bloop, it turns on pedals, and you'll see here it turned on some stuff. So nothing's on here, no delay or verb is on. And then as I hit that, it switches presets and turns them on.
Very cool.
And it's turning on loop 1 and loop 4, which is compressor and chorus. So it's great.
So that thing can turn on and off stuff and change parameters in any MIDI controlled pedal. You know what else can do that? My Helix can do all of that.
Brian, I don't want to talk about
but it's
that.
not made by
It's not made
by Strymon, is it?
That's not what this is about right now. Did you ask me to show my pedal board so you could?
I did.
So you could then tell me that your Helix is better. Is that what you
That's
did?
not what I said. I just said it can do that.
No, is that what you're getting at?
That's actually super cool. If I ran pedals, I would want to do that too. If I ran a pedal board, I like being able to switch presets.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we had some more questions. Have we watched Teletubbies before? Christopher Martin wants to know. That's a very odd question.
Been a while.
It's not very. It doesn't pertain to the channel.
Been a while.
That was after my time. So no. What software do we use to edit audio? You mean like for recording purposes?
Or I use right now.
Logic. Right now, we're running into. I use a Universal Audio Apollo, which is a recording interface, and it comes with like software that you can use to control the hardware, that kind of thing. So, Bradford, you know we gained like 15 subscribers while you were doing, or 15 viewers while you were doing your pedal board run through.
But they didn't know that was what was happening.
Awesome. I think that's because.
Can they see on YouTube? Can you see like live, or do you have to click on it in order to see live? You know what I mean? Like live on Facebook, you can see what they're talking about in that moment.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, or does it just show the worship tutorials logo? I think that's probably what it does.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. We had some questions about memorizing music. How do you memorize music? Any tips?
Very carefully.
Play the song a lot.
Yeah. Listen to it a lot. Get it ingrained in your brain.
So when we do a new song at New Hope, we never have music in front of us ever, and no one on our teams does typically.
If anything, you can keep it on the floor, but
we memorize everything though.
Yeah,
pretty much, especially the worship leaders. If one of the worship leaders, like if Bradford or I, used a music stand or didn't have music memorized, then goodness.
That's what we're paid to do.
That would be a conversation.
Yeah,
that we'd have to have
with our
boss.
We're on staff to lead worship and make it excellent. So if we're not learning songs, they probably want to. Hey, is everything all right?
This is what I do. I listen to it a lot in my car when I drive stuff.
Yeah.
Listen to it a lot. When I listen to it, I look at the chord progressions, and so. I'm sorry. Christopher Martin, this is weird. I might have to mute you for a while. Put user in timeout. Okay. I put you in timeout. All right.
You can do that?
Yeah. It's like my 4-year-old. I put him in timeout sometimes too when he does things that are inappropriate. All right. Bradford loves it. Hey man, I don't mess around, all right? This
is YouTube, man. Yeah. It's a show.
So I listen to it a lot, look at the chord progression, and then memorizing is just repetition for me. You just play it over and over and over until you have it memorized. If you want like a little more nuts and bolts, what I would do is memorize the guitar part first, like the chords. If you're playing acoustic, just memorize how the song goes on guitar first, and then memorize the lyrics. Because you don't want to have to think about them both at the same time. That's what's going to trip you up.
Yeah.
So get one of them down first. Usually for me, that's the guitar, and then get the lyrics. And as you do it, the more you do it, the better you get at it, and the easier it gets. And eventually, you'll just be able to hear a song and say, "Oh, that's a 1-6-5-4 progression. You know, and you just kind of play it. You don't even really have to know the music.
Well, for me, I look at the lyrics as what is the song saying. The chorus should be the first thing you learn. If you can't memorize the chorus, maybe you shouldn't be teaching it
It's
to
not a
your
good
people.
song.
Yeah, if you can't remember the chorus, then maybe you should. Not all the time. I'm not going to say that, but like, if you're having a hard time as the worship leader learning the chorus, then maybe it's not an easy song to teach people. But also, if you're having a hard time with the lyrics, then maybe you should revisit, like, you know, is this song saying something meaningful? That's not necessarily the case all the time, but for me, I found that the songs that I have trouble memorizing is because the phrasing is weird, and it just doesn't feel natural to sing for me. It's not going to feel natural for me to sing, and I'm the worship leader.
Yeah.
Who knows what the people in the congregation are going to feel? But for memorizing music, I don't memorize music.
Okay, explain.
Because I don't need to memorize it. When I went to school, I had to do aural skills, AURAL, training of the ear. I had to do it. Mm-hmm. And part of the first day of class, my professor was like, all right, here's a 1 chord and a 4 chord, and I'm going to play the 2. Okay, which one's which? I was like, okay, I guess I can pick out one of the 2. Yeah. Sure. He said, this is 1, 4, 5. And I was like, okay, well, what is happening? Mm-hmm. And then 1, 4, 5, 6. I was like, oh, okay, this isn't going to be easy. And I was like, I'm in the wrong class. I'm not going to do this. This is not what the Lord called me to. This is not it. Come to realize, with enough practice, your ear can pick that up.
1.
There you go.
1 over 5 over 3.
1 over 3. What?
5 over 1.
Okay. Yeah.
1. Okay.
Or suspended.
Yeah.
But it's not. What I've learned is worship songs aren't that difficult compared to like a Chicago song.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, good luck. But because I learned
on purpose, I think. I mean, by design.
By design. Oh yeah, they all studied school. They all studied music in school.
Yeah.
But for me, it's if I know how the song sounds, then I can just on the fly be playing the song. So it's not memorizing. It's just my brain. I know how the song goes, and I play the chord.
Yeah.
And that has made it a lot easier, and it means now that the only
your ear training is
training has paid off because now it's not a matter of learning a song; it's a matter of learning the lyrics.
Yeah.
And I just have to learn.
We had a good follow-up question by Ren Outlaw.
I love that.
I hope that's your real name because that would be awesome.
That's slick.
So they ask, what about when the rest of the team doesn't memorize?
It comes down to vision.
That is a conversation. You need to have.
We set that at our church. We tell everybody, before they get on the team, that this is expected, and this is why we do it.
It's important not to say just this is what is expected of you, but to say why this is what is expected of you, and what that means in context of the vision of the church. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if your team doesn't memorize, it's just really important that you let them know that this is what's expected.
Yeah.
And encourage them that you can do it. And the reality is I bet a lot of people, so the music stand thing is a big, I don't know why everyone gets upset about it. I don't think you need music stands. I think music stands are a barrier that doesn't need to exist.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people who use music probably have more stuff memorized than they realize. Mm-hmm. What's funny is we played Lead of Love a second ago, a little while ago by Caden's Call, which is a song I literally haven't listened to in probably 15, 20 years.
And I've never played it.
And I just remember playing it, and it was in my brain. And what was it that we were playing earlier? You played Name by Goo Goo Dolls.
Yeah.
You just started playing it, and you just remember it. Yeah. So it's like music has a way of sticking in our brains, and I think that it has a lot to do with it has to have a lot to do with vision. But I think a lot of people have more stuff memorized, and they have more capacity to memorize than they believe they do.
Yeah.
And that means you got to encourage people. You got to be very supportive, and it can't be like you didn't memorize. This is a problem. It has to be more of an encouragement. Sam wants to know when you're gonna shave. He's asked several times.
I've noticed a few times. Yeah, irrelevant. I don't.
Should I put Sam in timeout?
You can still watch. You just can't ask questions. I love this.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap things up in about 10 minutes. So, do you want to play another song?
Sure.
What do you want to play?
I don't know.
What do you guys? Problem is there's a slight delay. So if we ask for...
we'd have to wait for...
Yeah, we'd have to wait. There'd be an awkward pause. So in future live videos, let us know some requests that you have. There have been a lot of requests for Elevation. What can we play from Elevation? There's a lot of reverb in the room right now. You got an Elevation song? Is that Mighty Warrior?
Yeah.
Can we do like a chilled out version of Mighty Warrior?
Seems kind of...
God bless us from the depths into your freedom. Our chains are gone. No weapon formed shall prevail. This works better than I thought. Declaring our God Almighty warrior, you're a consuming fire. In victory you reign, I triumph in your name. Jesus, the great commander, you conquered death forever. In victory you reign, we triumph in your name. Nice. Glory resounds through the ages. All saints declaring your great renown. Your kingdom forever will stand. We won't be shaken. We will not fear. Our God Almighty warrior, you're a consuming fire. In victory you reign. We triumph in your name. Jesus, the great commander, you conquered death forever. In victory you reign. We triumph in your name. And we declare your name is power. Exalted one, your name is iron. You stand alone, our strong defender. Above you there's no other. Above you there's no other. And we declare your name is power. Exalted one, your name is higher. You stand alone, our strong defender. Above you there's no other. 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 Our God Almighty warrior, you're a consuming fire. In victory we triumph in your name. Jesus, the great commander, you conquered death forever. In victory you reign. We triumph in your name. Our God Almighty warrior, you're a consuming fire. In victory you reign. We triumph in your name. The great commander, you're forever. Look at that comment. Hamburger tone. We triumph in your name. Oh. Woo! Bradford, that was tasty, my friend. I agree with, where did it go? Where did it go? With Paul. Are you finished?
Yes.
I agree with Paul. Neckhorn? Is it Neckhorn? Did I say that right? That's delicious cheeseburger tone right there. Hamburger tone. Is that a thing that I made up, Bradford? Did I make that? This is a thing from now on. Okay. If you hear a guitar player such as Bradford Mitchell, the Bradford Mitchell, who has delicious tone, I'm going to use that word intentionally. You just say that's some sweet burger tone. Because there's not much better in the world than a tasty cheeseburger. Am I right, Bradford? If you put bacon on it,
it's even better.
It's better.
My favorite food with my second favorite food.
What, a bacon with a cheeseburger on it?
Yeah.
Okay. You can just say, that's delicious cheeseburger tone right there. Blandina says, what is hamburger tone? It's just a stupid thing that we made up here at Worship Tutorials. Bradford, there have been some questions about the guitar that you're playing here.
Are there really?
Yeah. I saw him earlier.
Behold, the mighty MJT Stratocaster.
Oh, Stratocaster.
Stratocaster. Because I picked this out. That's the great thing.
Oh, you know what?
That's the great thing. No, you can't bring that one in here.
Well, we bought them together. Yeah. Remember? It was a
Okay, so as Brian's fetching his Strat, we said, hey, wouldn't it be awesome if we both got Sunburst Strats and ordered them together?
We did say
Does
that.
Does Brian's guitar look anything like mine now? Negative.
They look pretty close, Bradford.
Brian's like, you know what? I think I'm going to go with...
They're almost exactly the same.
I think I'm going to go with Rosewood. Okay, Brian. Go ahead and go with Rosewood. Hey, Bradford, you know what? I think I'm going to add a humbucker in the bridge. Okay, Brian, go ahead and do that.
You got to admit that was a great choice.
That was. I want to do it.
Actually, but this sounds awesome.
However, and then he goes, Bradford, I don't think I want to go Sunburst anymore. Our guitars look nothing alike now.
So originally, Bradford and I were going to buy matching guitars because we wanted to be guitar twins.
And it just would be fun.
And this was the original design
for the most part
that we both came up with.
Did we want to do both maple?
Yeah, because look at the aged maple board.
I kind of wish I did Rosewood. You want to switch necks?
No, I don't, because
this
neck is awesome.
Flamed, whatever.
I went with flamed maple. If you can see the flame on there,
I need MJT to just give me a neck like that, and I need a.
So we got these guitars from MJT, which is Mark Jenny. What does T mean? I don't know. MJT aged finished
cigars.
I don't know. And so MJT is like they will age your guitar, that kind of stuff. Which is why these look old. Usually what you do is you buy like a body or a neck from them. That's what a lot of people do, and then build it yourself. What a lot of people don't understand is that MJT will build a complete guitar for you. They call it the complete guitar. And they don't make very many of them. And they don't advertise it at all on their website. But if they build you a guitar, and they'll your choice of Porter pickups, they use really high quality electronics and stuff. Like, they'll put it all together for you and send it to you, and it's just like, it's like you're buying a Fender custom shop guitar.
I have not played a Fender custom shop
for literally half the price. This blows the pants off of an American standard.
Oh, for sure. You could get this for of a new American standard. You could get like a used Strat if you're lucky for like $600. That's possible.
American standard.
Use American Strat.
Yeah, but $800 or $900 is more normal.
But for what I think it comes with a case for $1,600.
$1,600. You get the guitar aged with whatever you want, basically custom built, and then a case that's aged to match it.
Yeah,
which is very cool.
I haven't played a custom shop Strat anywhere near as long as I've played this, but this just plays like butter.
These guitars are awesome.
And I went with stainless steel frets because I just like the way that, and jumbo frets. I like the way that feels. It feels more real.
Yeah, we both got stainless steel jumbo frets. Stainless steel frets are really cool. They're harder to do, and they're harder to like dress after you get. So if you get it's like whales in the background again. If you get stainless steel frets and they're not dressed well, you got to take it to someone who really knows what they're doing to fix it. Somebody has a message retracted. I kind of want to know what they said now. Anyway, these guitars are awesome.
John McGuire!
Hey, friends, I'm back.
Did you leave? Didn't notice.
Hopefully John McGuire will be in a future episode up here in Worship Tutorials headquarters. You'll see John in the flesh, maybe. Bradford, play the Good People line in the Lamb, because we've had server requests for that. Can you do it?
Can I play it louder, though? But it's... Can I play it louder, though?
I played it for you. No, because you're blowing it out. I'll do it. Just go for it. I'm playing with this guitar. humbucker versus a single coil will do for you. This guitar feels great, Bradford.
Yours weighs more.
Yeah, yours is lighter. Dude, this guitar is awesome. Okay, so you tell us which guitar sounded better. It's so hard to tell.
Sorry, you're talking. I just like playing guitar.
Yeah, it's fun. All right, guys.
Guitar is neat.
Huh?
Guitar is neat.
Are we gonna trade for a bit now? Are we doing a trade?
I'm gonna take yours
guitar
home
trade?
with me. The neck is...
Dude, this neck is awesome. Both of these necks are great. Okay, so thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We have a vote for the bridge humbucker of that guitar. There are things you can do with a traditional Strat setup that you can't do with this. And there are things you can do with this that you can't do with this. So it just really depends. This position, which would be the what? The 2 position?
It's either the 2 or the 4.
The one that's bridge and bridge and middle together.
I say that's 4.
Okay.
I think
The bridge
2, 3,
middle
4, 5.
position on these 2 guitars will sound drastically different.
Yeah.
And so this one will sound way more spanky.
And quacky.
Yeah. That one will sound a lot creamier. It just depends on what you want. But that's really the biggest difference. That and just the straight bridge tone. So, I mean, if you want to sound like Stevie Ray Vaughan, you use this with a tube screamer.
Or if you want to if you want to have hamburger tone.
If you want hamburger tone, this one, that one too.
This one too.
Either way.
Burger tone.
Anyway, it's time for us to sign off. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us here on the Worship Tutorials. I think I've perfected the sign off, how we get out of this thing. So, Bradford, do you have any parting words of wisdom or advice for the good people?
I'm just so glad you got to see me.
Oh gosh.
No, this was fun.
Bradford is glad that you got to see him.
Yes.
But I'm personally happy that I got to hang out with you.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I just love being with my friend Brian.
Likewise.
And you wonderful people.
Yeah, it was good. Next week, Friday, 4 p.m. There was a question about what we're going to talk about. I don't know. We don't know yet.
Make a comment about what you want us to talk about.
Yeah, tell us in the comments what do you want us to cover next week.
Figure something out that way.
People that comment that well know they watched all the way to the end.
Yes.
Which is quite a feat.
If you want to watch all the way to the end, you get the privilege of voting.
Of voting for what we talk about
next week.
All right. See you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
See ya.